What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Mic Check Podcast. This is T Word, the People's Champ. Here, my co-host for the day, Cool K, the casual man, not the casual fan. We back in this thing, and we're gonna be talking about a little bit of boxing. We're talking about the tail of the tape, Derrick James versus Bomac, the trainers for Errol Spence Jr. and Terence Crawford, respectively. Before we get in the video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. So, okay, we're about to get into this thing, man, and we kind of talked about this off air, guys, so we're going to get right into it. And I'm going to take the position of Brian McIntyre, a.k.a. Bomac, and Cool K is going to talk about Derrick James. We're going to be looking at three specific criteria to compare these trainers. We're going to be looking at who's a better motivator, who has a better pre-fight strategy, and who's going to be better at adjustments. So the first thing we're going to start with is who's probably the better motivator going into the fight and during the fight. And I'm going to throw it to UK. Fire it up, bro.
All right, baby. So what's going on, everybody? When we talking about motivation, right? That's a very important aspect in fighting, because when you're down deep, you know what I mean, and you need to hear those words of encouragement, you start to feel as though that you can't, find what it is that you need to find inside to come out there and get that victory. Who's going to be that person that can unlock that in you? For all my anime fans, you know what I mean? When you see Goku start talking that crazy shit, man, and he tells somebody how to turn into a Super Saiyan, they turn Super Saiyan. Like, who's going to be able to turn that Super Saiyan into the Super Saiyan and wins the fight, right? I'm going Derrick James, man. Derrick James, definitely, I feel as though that he does have the ability to motivate. When he talks to Errol Spence and he tells Errol Spence what he needs to do, when he digs deep inside of Errol Spence's soul, you know what I mean? Errol Spence finds that way to come out. One of my favorite fights that I've seen from Errol Spence was against Shawn Porter, which is a very, very, very close fight at the very end. You know what I mean? And he was able to actually drop him, I believe, what was that, 11th round? Or was it the 11th round? If I'm not mistaken?
He put him down in 10, and then he coasted the next two rounds. So, it was a late fight. For sure.
Yeah, letting him fight. That was, it was close and then bam. I feel like he had a talk with him, and he was able to find a way to dig deep inside of Errol Spence's soul, and Errol put him down. You know what I'm saying? So I think Derrick James, though he is looked at more as the technical guru, you know what I mean? I think he does know how to use his words of encouragement, for sure.
Okay. Key points. I like it. It's valid. I'm gonna take the side of Bomac, and I'm going to say that I think Bomac is a better motivator, and I think part of it is because of his direct personal relationship with Terence Crawford and also Keyshawn Davis. But specific to this fight, I think they have a connection in the way where they have a little bit of an unspoken language to where they can go off a look, they can go off eye contact, and I think that that's going to be very important in this fight. And I believe that Bomac has the advantage here because he could just tell Bud when to go turn that dog on. Like, if you think about the fight against Shawn Porter, I'm gonna use the same example. Bud against Shawn Porter, he basically told him like, "Hey, you losing this fight." Everybody knew that was probably some bullshit, but when he said it, he turned Bud up. He put that battery in his back and he got him going. So to me, I believe his advantage, Bomac, in the motivation department. So let's flip the script. We're gonna go into pre-fight strategy. So I'm gonna go first this time. And pre-fight strategy, what I believe is Bud is probably more involved in game planning prior to the fight, as far as they work as a collaborative team. I don't believe that Bomac is going to just create a game plan for Bud. I think they're going to work together, watch the film together, put all the pieces together, look at their common opponents and see how Errol faced them. And then they're going to put their strategy together based on the things that happen. And I believe that the pre-fight strategy is going to be a very cohesive effort between trainer and fighter. And I think that at times that could be an advantage because these two dudes are going to get together and put together something that, hey, maybe you start off southpaw and you switch to orthodox and throw his shit all off instead of going orthodox and switching to southpaw. So in my opinion, I think because of the collaborative effort between the super elite fighter and a really good trainer, I think we're going to see a really strong game plan from Terence Crawford going into this fight. I'm going to throw it to you.
All right. So as you already know, I'm actually gonna go the other side, flip the coin for you, and I'm gonna go with Derrick James. Now, as I stated in the who's the better motivator section of this video, I feel like Derrick James is the more technical guru of the two. You know what I mean? As far as working on the fundamentals, as far as preaching how to stop like those angles that Crawford may have and things of that nature, right? I think that he sits with Errol, and he really does study that film and give, I'm about to say Crawford, excuse me. He gives oh my gosh, Errol Spence like the information that he's going to need in order to try to figure a way to adjust to the fight. You know what I'm saying? As far as what they're going to do when they sit down and talk about what Terence does, when he's downloading, quote unquote. I hate when people say this as well, but downloading data when he's in orthodox and then switches to southpaw and tries to tear fire that ass, right? You know what I'm saying? So I think he really is gonna have a really good time of watching video and watching film, seeing when Terence likes to switch into that battle mode. I call his southpaw battle mode. I call his orthodox. I call that studying mode, and then his southpaw's battle mode. So when he does switch to that, what he needs to do in order to be prepared for that portion. So yeah, I think that Derrick James is definitely going to have a great game plan.
Okay. I think that's a fair assessment. So now we're going to go into the third criteria before we hand it over to the viewers and let them decide what they think. The third criteria is going to be in-fight adjustments. So I'm going to throw it to you first, and we're going to talk about who's the better adjuster in-fight from the corner, Derrick James or Bomac. Let's go. Let's go, okay.
So for me personally, and I know we keep going with D. James, but hey man, look, Derrick, he really got that. I really think that he's a better in-game adjuster. You know what I'm saying? As far as when you're looking at what Bomac does, Bomac is the guy that's going to tell you, hey, this is what's happening right now. Your kids, they're watching this. You know what I mean? Your kids are going to go to school the next day and they're going to say, oh my gosh, my daddy got knocked the fuck out. You know what I mean? With Derrick James is going to sit here and say, okay, look, you see this guy's coming from the 62 inch angle, and you need to watch that. All right, you got to stop letting him do that shit. All right, he comes at you like that again, you need to switch and flip over and punch him with the right cross. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like Derrick James, his language is all about the fundamentals, and it's all about the actual fight per se. You know what I'm saying? Now, of course, I think he can be an okay motivator, but when it comes to the technicality of what he needs to do to change the trajectory of the fight, I think that Derrick James is a master at that, 100%.
I got you. So I'm going to go ahead and take the other side. Obviously, I'm speak for Bomac, and I'm going to say that while he may not be an elite adjuster, because he does have one of the most elite talents in the world, he doesn't necessarily need to adjust. I think his adjustment is finding out exactly how to tweak what Bud is doing and just give him a look when he's in the corner. He doesn't have to say, hey, step to your left or pivot to your right. He doesn't have to give him specific technical adjustments. He gives him mindset adjustments. And I think that that's just as important as the technical aspect, because at the end of the day, you need to get your fighter in the best position to succeed at whatever they're trying to do. And for Terence Crawford, it's going to be to use that full tool bag. We all believe that Errol Spence has less tools, but sharper tools. But we think that Terence Crawford has more tools, and that can be an advantage for him. And that's something that Bomac is going to help him dig into and just kind of tell him, hey, you got a wrench, use it. You got a hammer. It's a good time for the screwdriver. You know what I'm saying? Go and pull those tools out. And I think that that's going to be the technical adjustments versus very specific adjustments. I think Bomac will have his say in certain things that Bud is going to do during the fight, even if we don't hear the trainer tracks, even though it's showtime. So we're going to close it on that point. We'd love to get you guys' thoughts out there. Who is the better trainer? Who has the advantage in the training department? Is it Derrick James and Errol Spence? Is it Bomac and Terence Crawford? You decide. Go ahead and drop your opinion down in the comment with a great explanation. This has been T and Cool K for the Mike Check Podcast. Until the next time, we're out. Peace.
Peace.